The silence is finally breaking, and the echoes of Boracay are about to resonate louder than ever across the Western Hemisphere. Can you feel that electric tension in the air? After years of waiting, of streaming through screens, and holding on to hope, the legends are returning. We aren't just talking about a concert, we are talking about a cultural phenomenon that reshapes cities into oceans of purple light. From the skyscraper-filled horizons of North America to the passionate, soul-stirring streets of the South, the map is being drawn, and the stakes have never been higher. But which city will claim the title of the ultimate army stronghold? Which legendary stadium will witness a performance so intense it might just change music history forever? Is your hometown ready for the chaos, the beauty, and the sheer power of the Bangtan boys? Today, we are diving deep into the definitive list of 13 iconic locations in the Americas that are rumored to be the battlegrounds for this epic world tour. We've gathered the facts, the lore, and the hidden details that will leave you breathless. Are you prepared to see where the magic lands? Let's uncover the mystery behind the most anticipated journey of the decade. The countdown begins now. Buckle up, because this isn't just a tour, it's a revolution of the heart. Can you handle the anticipation, or will the surprises we have in store for you today be too much to take? Let's find out. Would you like me to proceed to the first point on our list? Number 13. Buenos Aires, the end of the world, a heartbeat in purple. Imagine standing at the very edge of the southern hemisphere, where the cold winds of the Atlantic meet the scorching, unyielding fire of a nation's soul. We are kicking off this massive countdown in a place that doesn't just host concerts, it creates legends. Buenos Aires, Argentina, often called the Paris of South America, is more than just a city, it's a feeling, a rhythm, and a roar that can be heard across the globe. For the members of BTS, this isn't just another pin on the map. Do you remember back in 2022, when the world stood still as Jin took the stage with Coldplay at the Estadio River Plate to perform The Astronaut for the first time? That moment cemented Argentina as a sacred ground for ARMY. The memory of 60,000 voices screaming Jin still echoes through the concrete of the stadium, and the return of all 7 members to this specific soil is the stuff of dreams. The atmosphere in Buenos Aires is unlike anywhere else on Earth. It's a city of grand architecture, winding cobblestone streets, and the smell of fresh asado and choripan wafting through the air. But when the purple ocean descends, the entire city transforms. Picture the obelisco, the iconic white monument in the heart of the city, glowing in a deep, radiant violet as fans gather by the thousands just to sing together. The passion here is visceral. It's a raw, emotional connection that stems from a culture that wears its heart on its sleeve. Argentinian fans are famous for being the loudest, the most synchronized, and the most deeply moved. They don't just watch a show, they live it. They scream until their throats are raw and cry until their eyes are red, because for them, music is a lifeline. In a country that has faced its fair share of economic struggles and hardships, BTS represents a beacon of hope and a message of self-love that resonates on a frequency most other artists can't reach. The sheer logistics of bringing the world's biggest boy band to the end of the world are mind-boggling. Yet the demand is so high that even 5 nights at a massive stadium wouldn't be enough. Can you visualize the scenes at the Ministro Pistarini International Airport? Thousands of fans waiting in a disciplined yet ecstatic line, the security barriers vibrating from the sheer energy of anticipation. The narrative of this tour stop is one of homecoming and extreme gratitude. BTS knows that the fans in the Southern Cone have waited longer and traveled further than almost anyone else. When the lights go down and the first notes of their opening track hit the speakers, the ground beneath Buenos Aires literally shakes, a seismic event caused not by nature, but by the synchronized jumping of 100,000 feet. It's a place where the history of the astronaut meets the future of the Boré era, creating a full-circle moment that is guaranteed to leave every member of the group in tears. The reflective nature of this stop is profound. It's about the distance traveled and the love that knows no borders. As the sun sets over the Rio de la Plata, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink that mimic a BTS album cover, the city prepares for a night that will be etched into the history books of music. Will this be the night where we see the most emotional ending of the entire tour? Will the members be able to handle the sheer volume of a crowd that sings every single lyric, not just the English ones, but every Korean syllable with perfect precision? This is the power of Buenos Aires. It is a city that demands everything from an artist and gives back 1,000 times more in pure, unadulterated love. It's a high-stakes, high-emotion beginning to our list, setting a bar so high it seems almost impossible to beat. But believe me, we are just getting started. The journey through the Americas is full of surprises, and as we move from the tip of the south toward the north, the stories only get deeper and the stakes get higher. Are you ready to see which city takes the next spot on our list, or is your heart already racing from the thought of the purple lights over Argentina? Stay tuned, because the magic is only intensifying from here. Number 12. Lima. The Golden Cities roar a mystery waiting to explode. Can you feel that? That's the sound of a sleeping giant finally waking up. If you thought the energy in Argentina was intense, wait until you step foot into the mist-covered streets of Lima, Peru. This is the city that has been holding its breath for over a decade, a place where the phrase, "waiting for BTS," isn't just a trend, it's a lifestyle. Lima is a city of stunning contrasts, where ancient pre-Inca ruins sit right next to modern glass skyscrapers, and where the air is thick with the scent of ceviche and the salty breeze of the Pacific Ocean. But for ARMY, Lima is the ultimate dark horse of the tour. For years, Peruvian fans have been the unsung heroes of the fandom, consistently ranking in the top 3 for most active charity projects and digital streaming in all of Latin America. Did you know that in 2019 alone, Peruvian ARMYs organized over 40 charity events? They aren't just fans, they are a force of nature. And yet, the boys have never officially performed a full stadium concert here. The tension is palpable. Every time a tour teaser drops, Peru trends globally within minutes. Now imagine the Estadio Nacional, the Coloso de José Díaz, shining like a diamond in the dark. This stadium is legendary, a place where the Peruvian national football team has fought their hardest battles. With a capacity that can swell to over 50,000 for concerts, it's the perfect stage for a group that thrives on massive energy. The logistics of a Lima stop are a mystery that keeps everyone on their toes. Will they arrive via a secret flight to Jorge Chávez International Airport to avoid the inevitable sea of purple waiting at the gates? The atmosphere in the city during BTS week would be nothing short of a carnival. Picture the Parque de la Reserva, with its famous magic water circuit, choreographed to the beat of Dynamite, or Yet to Come, with water fountains glowing in shades of amethyst. The reflection here is deep. It's about a fan base that has proven their loyalty through years of absence, building a community so strong that it forced the world to take notice. When RM looks out into that Peruvian crowd, he won't just see fans, he'll see a decade of dedication. He'll see the fans who stayed up until 4 a.m. for every comeback, who translated every lyric into Spanish, and who never lost hope that one day, the Seven would land in the City of Kings. There's something spiritual about the idea of BTS in Peru, perhaps because the group's message of resilience and finding one's inner child mirrors the spirit of a nation that has constantly rebuilt itself with pride. The roar of the Lima crowd is said to be one of the loudest in the world, a sharp, piercing wall of sound that vibrates in your chest. Is Lima truly ready to show the world that they are the heart of the South American ARMY? Or will the sheer scale of the demand create a ticket frenzy, the likes of which the continent has never seen? One thing is for certain. When that first firework explodes over the Estadio Nacional, the wait will have been worth every single second. The mystery is over, the Kings are here, and Lima is ready to scream until the stars come out. Number 11. Santiago. The Andes' Purple Crown, where history and hype collide. Welcome to the heart of the Andes, where the air is thin, the mountains are sharp, and the passion is absolutely explosive. Santiago de Chile is not just a stop on a tour, it's a battleground of emotions and a testament to the sheer, unyielding loyalty of the Latin American ARMY. Imagine the scene. The sun setting behind the jagged, snow-capped peaks of the Andes, casting a long, golden shadow over a city that is about to turn into a sea of flickering light sticks. Santiago is a place of deep historical scars and modern architectural triumphs, like the Sky Costanera, the tallest building in South America, which, during a BTS visit, would undoubtedly be illuminated in a brilliant, defiant violet that could be seen for miles. But why does Santiago feel so different? Why does the energy here feel like a powder keg waiting for a single spark? It goes back to the roots of the group's journey. Chile was one of the very first places outside of Asia to truly get BTS. Back in 2017, during the Wings tour, the fans in Santiago were so loud that the members themselves were visibly stunned, often mentioning the Chilean energy in interviews for years afterward. That connection hasn't faded. It has fermented like the world-class wine the Maipo Valley is famous for. If you walk through the Barrio La Staria or the colorful hills of nearby Valparaiso during tour week, you'll see murals of the 7 members blending seamlessly with the local street art as if they were always part of the city's soul. The proposed venue, the Estadio Nacional Julio Martínez Pradanos, is a place of heavy historical weight, a stadium that has seen both the darkest days of Chilean history and its greatest moments of national joy. For BTS to fill this space with a message of love yourself is a profound reflection on the power of music to heal and reclaim a narrative. The logistics here are always intense. Ticket sales in Santiago are notorious for crashing servers within seconds, leaving hundreds of thousands of fans in a digital queue that feels like an eternity. Can you picture the BTS village that would likely spring up in Parque Forestal? Fans from all over the southern cone, Bolivia, Paraguay, and even rural parts of Chile traveling for days just to breathe the same air as their idols. The emotional stakes are through the roof. This is the city that proves BTS isn't just a pop group. They are a bridge across cultures, a light in the dark for those who felt unheard. As the group prepares to take the stage under the watchful eye of the Andes, the tension is almost unbearable. Will they perform a special acoustic set to match the romantic vibe of the city? Or will the Chilean army's roar be so deafening that the members have to pause just to soak in the love? There is a mystery in the air here, a sense that something truly monumental, perhaps a surprise solo stage, or a never-before-seen collaboration is waiting in the wings. Santiago doesn't just welcome BTS, it embraces them with a ferocity that is both beautiful and terrifying. Are you ready to see how the Andes' purple crown shines when the lights finally go out? Or is the next city on our list about to steal the spotlight with its own brand of chaos? Number 10. Mexico City. The Aztec Soul, a purple revolution in the high altitude. Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of one of the most vibrant, chaotic, and emotionally charged metropolises on the planet, Mexico City. This isn't just a tour stop. It's a seismic event that will reverberate from the ancient ruins of Teotihuacan to the very top of the Torre Latinoamericana. Mexico City, or CDMX, is a sprawling labyrinth of culture, history, and a passion so intense it borders on the supernatural. When we talk about the Aztec Soul, we are talking about a fan base that doesn't just love BTS. They have integrated the group's philosophy into the very fabric of their lives. Imagine the scene at the Benito Juárez International Airport, a sea of fans, thousands deep, singing Epiphany in perfect unison, their voices echoing through the terminals long before the plane even touches the tarmac. The air in Mexico City is thin, at over 7,000 feet above sea level, and that physical reality adds a layer of raw, gasping intensity to every performance. For the members of BTS, performing here is a physical feat of endurance. They have spoken before about the difficulty of dancing their high-octane choreography in high-altitude cities, but it's that very struggle that makes the connection with the Mexican army so profound. It's a shared breath, a shared heartbeat. The rumored venue? None other than the legendary Estadio Azteca or the iconic Foro Sol. Picture the Foro Sol transformed into a shimmering crater of purple light, a literal volcano of energy ready to erupt. Mexican fans are world-renowned for their Cielito Lindo spirit. They bring a sense of community and celebration that turns a concert into a national holiday. During BTS week, the Zócalo, the city's main square, would likely be a flashpoint of activity. Can you imagine the massive LED screens normally reserved for government announcements suddenly displaying the Love Yourself logo? Or the Angel of Independence monument, surrounded by fans holding a vigil of light and hope? The detail is in the streets, the street vendors selling Bora High-themed tacos, the murals appearing overnight in the neighborhoods of Roma and Condesa, and the sheer volume of the fan projects. In Mexico, fan projects are legendary for their scale. We're talking about thousands of banners, synchronized light displays that create images in the stands, and a roar that is literally measured on local seismographs. But there's a deeper, more reflective layer here. Mexico is a country of deep traditions and a complex history of resilience. The message of BTS overcoming prejudice, finding one's voice, and the spring day promise that no winter lasts forever hits home in a way that is incredibly personal for many young Mexicans. It's a reflection of their own journey. As the members take the stage, the humidity and the heat of the crowd create a visible mist, a purple fog that blankets the stadium. The members, drenched in sweat and breathing hard from the altitude, look out and see a nation that has waited years for this moment. There is a mystery in how Mexico City manages to be so loud and yet so intimate at the same time. Will there be a special tribute to Mexican culture? A snippet of a mariachi version of Idol? The possibility is always there, lurking in the shadows of the stage. The energy is so high stakes that it feels like the very ground might give way. This is the magic of Mexico City. It's a city that lives at the extremes. It's loud, it's proud, and it's undeniably purple. As we move further north on our list, the question remains: can any other city match the sheer, raw, unadulterated fire of the Mexican army? Or has the Aztec soul set a standard that is simply untouchable? The world is watching, and the countdown is only getting more intense. Every detail, from the specific scent of jasmine and street food in the air to the vibration of the bass against the ancient soil, contributes to an atmosphere that is purely on the spot. Are you ready for what comes next? Or are you still catching your breath from the high-altitude hype of Mexico City? Number 9. Rio de Janeiro. The Carnival of Purple. A symphony at the Temple of Football. Welcome to the marvelous city, the soul of South America, where the rhythm of samba meets the heartbeat of a global revolution. If you think you've seen a passionate crowd, you haven't seen anything until you've stood in the middle of Rio de Janeiro when the Seven Kings are rumored to descend. This isn't just a concert, it's a takeover of one of the most iconic landscapes on the planet. Picture this: the sun dipping below the horizon of Ipanema, painting the sky in shades of gold and lilac, while the massive silhouette of Christ the Redeemer stands watch over the city. But tonight, that statue isn't just white stone. There's a buzzing rumor, a collective dream among the B Army, that for the first time in history, the Redeemer will be bathed in a deep, radiant violet to welcome BTS. Can you imagine the sight? A 98-foot symbol of peace, glowing purple, visible from every corner of the favela to the luxury high-rises of Leblon. This is the energy of Rio. It's a city that doesn't do quiet, and it certainly doesn't do small. For years, Brazil's BTS history has been centered in São Paulo, but the whispers for 2026 are pointing towards the ultimate temple, the Maracanã Stadium. We are talking about the most famous football stadium in the world, a place where Pelé made history and where over 78,000 voices can create a literal earthquake. The B Army is legendary in the fandom for being without a doubt the loudest crowd on earth. Do you remember the Speak Yourself tour in 2019? The fanchants were so loud they drowned out the stadium's sound system during Idol. In Rio, that energy is expected to be amplified to a breaking point. The detail in the preparation is staggering. Fans are already mapping out the Lapa arches, planning to turn the historic White Aqueduct into a gallery of fan art and purple lights. The atmosphere in the streets would be a literal carnival, not the one in February, but a purple carnival where the drums of samba schools are replaced by the synchronized beat of mic drop. The reflection here is one of pure, unadulterated joy. Brazilian fans have a way of loving that is physical. They sing every melody, they dance in the aisles, and they cry with a sincerity that has moved the members to tears in the past. It's a high-stakes stop because the logistics of the Maracanã are massive. How do you secure a stadium that is practically a national monument? How do you manage the thousands who will camp out for weeks in the tropical heat just for a chance at the barricade? There's a mystery in the air about what a Rio-specific stage would look like. Will we see a bossa nova remix of a classic hit? Will the members attempt a few steps of samba on the world's biggest stage? The pressure is on, because in Rio, good isn't enough. It has to be legendary. As the bass vibrates against the Maracanã's turf, the ground that has hosted World Cup finals, you realize this is where music transcends language. It's a reflection of the group's journey from a small agency to filling the world's most sacred venues. The air is thick with humidity, the scent of the ocean, and the electric charge of 80,000 light sticks. Is Rio the place where the tour reaches its emotional peak? Will the B Army finally claim their title as the loudest in the world officially? The questions are endless, but one thing is certain. When the lights go down in Rio de Janeiro, the world will hear the roar. And as we move further north into our list, you have to wonder, can any city in North America possibly match this level of raw, vibrating soul? Or is the best yet to come in ways we can't even imagine? Number 8. Vancouver. The Northern Emerald, a purple mist over the Pacific. Prepare yourself to cross the border into the breathtaking beauty of the Great White North, specifically to the glittering jewel of the West Coast, Vancouver, Canada. This isn't just a tour stop, it's a long-awaited homecoming to a city that has been craving the bangtan magic for years. Imagine the scene. The majestic, snow-capped North Shore Mountains standing as silent guardians over a city of glass and steel, while the Pacific Ocean laps at the shores of Stanley Park. But for one historic night, the usual emerald green and deep ocean blue of Vancouver will be completely overtaken by a radiant, glowing violet. Why is Vancouver so special? Because for years, Canadian armies have often had to make the long trek across the border to Seattle or Los Angeles. But the rumors for 2026 suggest that the Seven are finally bringing the full stadium experience to BC Place. Can you visualize the massive retractable roof of BC Place opening up to the crisp Canadian air, allowing the purple glow of thousands of army bombs to reflect off the glass skyscrapers of Yaletown? The atmosphere in Vancouver is uniquely West Coast chill, mixed with an underlying high-voltage excitement. During BTS week, the city would likely transform into a living gallery. Picture the Gastown steam clock, a symbol of the city's history, puffing out steam at the top of the hour while fans gather to sing Spring Day, their breath visible in the cool evening air. The detail is in the cultural mosaic of Vancouver. This is one of the most diverse cities in the world, and the crowd at the stadium will be a beautiful reflection of that. A melting pot of backgrounds and languages, all united by a single Korean melody. The reflection here is deep and emotional. For many Canadian fans, this stop represents recognition. It's a message that they are seen, that their years of streaming from the cold northern latitudes have finally brought the sun to their doorstep. The logistics of a Vancouver stop are fascinating. Imagine the sea-to-sky highway crowded with fans traveling from as far as Whistler and the interior. Or the ferries from Vancouver Island packed with purple-clad travelers. There is a mystery surrounding the performance itself. Vancouver is a city known for its film industry, often called Hollywood North. Will the members take advantage of the world-class production facilities here to film something special? Will we see a cinematic VCR that utilizes the hauntingly beautiful forests of British Columbia as a backdrop? The stakes are high because Vancouver fans are known for their politeness. But don't let that fool you when the beat drops, for not today, the roar inside that stadium will be enough to shake the foundations of the Granville Street Bridge. The air will be filled with the scent of pine needles, salt water, and the electric hum of a dream coming true. As the members look out at the sea of fans, they'll see a reflection of their own growth, from a group that once wondered if they could make it outside of Seoul, to icons filling stadiums in a city that feels like the edge of the world. Is Vancouver the hidden gem of the tour? Will the calm, cool exterior of the city shatter under the weight of the Purple Revolution? The mystery is part of the allure. As we continue to head further into the heart of the continent, the cities get bigger and the history gets deeper. Are you ready to see which iconic metropolis takes the next spot, or has the Northern Emerald already stolen your heart? Number 7. Toronto. The 6IX in violet, a cold north burning with pure desire. Welcome to the ultimate urban jungle of the north, the legendary 6I, where the skyline is dominated by the piercing needle of the CN Tower and the heart of Canada beats with a rhythmic, multicultural soul. Toronto. This isn't just another stop, this is a reckoning. If you've been following the bangtan lore, you know that Toronto has a history with the boys that is as deep as the Great Lakes themselves. We are talking about a city that has waded through the bitter Canadian winters of disappointment and the long shadows of a world that stood still. Do you remember the heartbreak of 2020? The Map of the Soul tour was supposed to be Toronto's crowning moment, with 2 sold-out nights at the massive Rogers Centre, a stadium that represents the absolute pinnacle of live performance in the country. When those dates were wiped off the calendar, the silence in the city was deafening. But Toronto armies didn't just sit in the dark, they turned that frustration into a movement. This is the city where the purple wave is more than a fandom. It's an academic study, a cultural shift, and a testament to the power of representation in a Western landscape that often overlooked the East. Imagine the scene at Union Station during BTS Week in 2026. Every corner of the subterranean path system is buzzing with the energy of fans arriving from Montreal, Ottawa, and the Maritimes. The air smells like a mix of fresh Tim Hortons coffee and the electric scent of anticipation. But the real magic happens as you look up. Picture the CN Tower, once the tallest freestanding structure in the world, piercing the clouds with a beam of violet light so powerful it reflects off the mist of Lake Ontario. This is a city that knows how to go big. From the massive digital billboards of Yonge Dundas Square, flashing "Welcome Home BTS," to the historic Distillery District, where fan-made art installations bloom like purple roses in the snow, Toronto is a city reborn. The rumored venue, the Rogers Centre, with its iconic retractable dome, is a place of legends, sitting right at the base of the CN Tower. Can you feel the vibration of the city as 50,000 people inside that concrete giant scream, "Kim Namjoon, Kim Seokjin," in a synchronized roar that can be heard all the way to the annex? The logistics of this stop are mind-blowing. We're talking about a city that practically shuts down its downtown core to accommodate the influx. The reflection here is profound. Toronto is one of the most diverse cities on the planet, a place where people from every corner of the earth come to find a home. When BTS stands on that stage, they aren't just performing for Canadians, they are performing for a microcosm of the world. It's a moment of pure, unadulterated reflection on how far 7 boys from South Korea have come to conquer the heart of the North American mosaic. The emotional stakes are higher than the tower itself. For many, this is the closure they've needed since 2020, a bridge across time, connecting the map of the Seoul era to the glorious future of 2026. The atmosphere is thick with a now or never energy. Will we see the members take a walk through High Park, or grab a casual meal in Koreatown, causing a gentle, respectful chaos that only Toronto can provide? There's a mystery in the air about the set list, too. With Toronto being a global music hub, the city of Drake and The Weeknd, will there be a surprise nod to the city's musical heritage? The pressure is immense, but the love is greater. As the lights go down and the violet glow of the army bombs turns the Rogers Centre into a galaxy of hope, you realize that the wait wasn't just about time, it was about growth. Toronto has grown, the boys have grown, and the reunion is going to be a seismic shift in the city's history. Is the 6IX ready to be the loudest voice in the North? Or is the next city on our list a place of political power and historic monuments going to challenge Toronto for the title of the East Coast's purple capital? The journey is only moving faster now, and the details are getting more intense. Can you handle the transition from the cold, burning desire of Toronto to the grand, marble-white prestige of what comes next? Number 6. Washington, D.C. The marble silence. A purple echo in the seat of power. Imagine the heavy, humid air of the Potomac River as it carries the scent of fresh rain and old history across the wide, marble-paved boulevards of the U.S. Capitol. This is number 6 on our countdown, Washington, D.C., a city that represents the absolute pinnacle of global influence. But for one weekend in 2026, it will be the center of a different kind of power. We are talking about the purple seat of power. Do you remember the seismic shift in 2022 when the 7 walked into the West Wing? That wasn't just a photo op, it was a cultural validation. The sight of RM, Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook standing in the White House press briefing room in their sharp black suits remains one of the most iconic moments in K-pop history. It proved that their voices weren't just for the stage, they were for the world stage. Now, fast forward to 2026. The rumors are swirling that the group will return not just for a meeting, but for a massive, full-scale performance at the FedEx Field. This stadium, known for its brutal intensity and massive scale, is a fitting arena for a group that has conquered every barrier thrown their way. During BTS Week in DC, the transformation would be nothing short of surreal. Picture the Washington Monument, that towering stone obelisk, suddenly illuminated from base to tip in a shimmering royal violet. Can you imagine the reflection of the purple light dancing on the surface of the reflecting pool, with the Lincoln Memorial standing solemn in the background? It's a city of monuments, but the greatest monument that week will be the connection between the 7 and the thousands of fans gathered on the National Mall. The detail is in the atmosphere. Fans from all over the world, many who have never been to the U.S. capital, walking the path from the Smithsonian to the tidal basin, their purple bags and pins clashing beautifully with the white marble and green parks. The reflection here is profound. Washington, D.C. is a place where history is recorded, but BTS is a group that makes history. Their return to this city is a victory lap, a statement that music is the ultimate unifier in a world that often feels divided. The logistics are a high-stakes puzzle. How do you manage security in a city that is the most protected in the world? The mystery lies in the what-if. Will there be a surprise visit to the Korean War Veterans Memorial? Will we see a special performance that honors the group's role as special presidential envoys? The stakes are sky high as the world's most powerful city prepares to bow, just for a moment, to the kings of pop. The air is thick with anticipation, and as the first bass drop of Interlude, Shadow, or Black Swan thunders through the stadium, the marble of DC will finally feel a rhythm it has never felt before. Are you ready for the power of the capital? Or is your heart already looking toward the Midwest for our next legendary stop? Number 5. Chicago. The Windy City's embrace, a symphony of ice and fire. Get ready to wrap yourselves in the chilly, electric embrace of the Midwest, because number 5 on our countdown takes us to the legendary skyline of Chicago, Illinois. This isn't just a tour stop. It's a legendary chapter in the Bangtan history books that is about to be rewritten with even more fire and intensity. Chicago, known as the Windy City, has a spirit that is as tough as steel and as soulful as the blues, and when it comes to BTS, the connection is nothing short of spiritual. Do you remember the sheer, unyielding grit of May 2019? While the rest of the world was enjoying the spring sun, Chicago decided to test the 7 with freezing temperatures and a relentless, icy rain at the iconic Soldier Field. But did the army falter? Did the boys back down? Absolutely not. That night became one of the most emotional and visually stunning performances in the history of the Speak Yourself tour. Imagine the scene. 7 young men, drenched to the bone, steam rising from their bodies in the cold night air as they danced with a ferocity that defied nature itself. The sight of Jungkook flying across the stadium during Euphoria, his white silk shirt clinging to him as he soared through the mist, is a memory etched into the souls of everyone who was there. Now, as we look toward 2026, the rumors suggest a return to that very same hallowed ground. Soldier Field is a place of incredible architectural mystery, a neoclassical masterpiece with grand Doric columns that pay homage to the ancient Roman Colosseum. Yet, inside, it features a modern metallic seating bowl that critics once famously said looked like a spaceship had landed. It's the perfect metaphor for BTS, a group deeply rooted in traditional hard work and sincerity, yet possessing a futuristic, global vision that feels out of this world. During BTS Week in Chicago, the city doesn't just host a concert, it undergoes a total purple transformation. Picture the Cloud Gate, better known as the Bean in Millennium Park. Can you visualize the polished silver surface reflecting a sea of purple hoodies and light sticks, creating a distorted, beautiful universe of armies from across the globe? The Magnificent Mile would likely become a purple runway, with every shop window from Michigan Avenue to the Chicago River celebrating the return of the Kings. The logistics of a Chicago stop are high stakes because the weather is the ultimate wild card. There's a mystery in the air. Will 2026 bring a clear, starry night where microcosmos can shine against the backdrop of the Willis Tower? Or will the Windy City challenge them once more with its unpredictable elements? The reflection here is about resilience, the same resilience that Chicagoans show every winter, and the same resilience that brought BTS from a tiny practice room to the pinnacle of the music world. The detail in the fans' preparation is unmatched. We're talking about purple tailgating in the parking lots of Museum Campus, where the smell of Chicago-style hot dogs, no ketchup, obviously, mixes with the sound of Silver Spoon blasting from car speakers. The emotional stakes are through the roof because for the Chicago Army, the boys aren't just celebrities, they are companions who stood with them in the cold. When RM looks out at the crowd and says, "Chicago, you are my winter but also my spring," the entire stadium will dissolve into tears. This is a city that understands the beauty of the struggle, and that is why the roar from Soldier Field is expected to be felt all the way across Lake Michigan. The vibration of 60,000 people jumping in unison to Idol will be a seismic event that the city's architects never prepared for. Is Chicago ready to reclaim its title as the most resilient stop on the tour? Or will the sheer scale of the North American leg bring even bigger surprises as we head toward the coast? The mystery is deep, the stakes are high, and the purple flame is burning brighter than ever in the heart of the Midwest. Can you handle the transition from the icy, fiery energy of Chicago to the sun-drenched, star-studded chaos of our next location? Stay tuned, because the top 5 is where the legends truly begin to collide. Number 4. San Francisco. The Golden Gate to Magic, a symphony of mist and modern art. Welcome to the Fog City, the city of the future, and the ultimate playground for the creative soul, San Francisco, California. If you think the previous stops were intense, prepare for a location that blends the high-stakes pressure of a tech capital with a vibe so artistic and laid-back it feels like a fever dream. San Francisco isn't just a dot on a map for BTS, it is a city of firsts and forever. Do you remember 2015? The Norse Theater? Back when they were just 7 boys with a dream, performing in a venue that held barely 1,600 people? The reflection here is massive, going from a small theater in the heart of Hayes Valley to the rumored colossal takeover of Levi's Stadium or the cutting-edge Chase Center. This is the ultimate glow-up. Imagine the scene. The Golden Gate Bridge, that iconic rust, orange behemoth, being engulfed not by the usual Carl the Fog, but by a thick, swirling mist of purple lights that can be seen from Sausalito to the East Bay. This city is built on hills, and during BTS week, every one of those hills will be alive with the sound of dynamite. But there's a mystery lurking in the air of San Francisco that sets it apart from every other stop. It's the Namjoon effect. In a historic move, RM has partnered with the SFMOMA, San Francisco Museum of Modern Art, for a world-first solo exhibition of his private art collection, set to run concurrently with the tour. Can you imagine the detail? Thousands of armies lining up on 3rd Street, not just for a concert, but to walk through the mind of the leader, seeing the world through his eyes before seeing him on stage. The atmosphere in the city will be a sophisticated blend of high art and high energy. Picture the ferry building at the Embarcadero with its clock tower glowing violet, and local artisans selling Borahai sourdough bread, the ultimate San Francisco tribute. The logistics of the Bay Area are a high-stakes puzzle. Fans will be streaming in via the BART from Oakland, the ferries from the North Bay, and the tech shuttles turned army shuttles from Silicon Valley. The reflection is deep. This is the city that embraces innovation and outsiders, a place where being different is the greatest strength, which mirrors the very journey of BTS themselves. As the sun sets over the Pacific, painting the sky in a palette that looks like the Hua Yang Yan Hua era, the tension in the air is palpable. Will they film a special performance at Alcatraz? Will we see a surprise street dance at Union Square? The detail is in the streets. The painted ladies of Alamo Square with purple ribbons, the vintage cable cars ringing their bells to the rhythm of Butter, and the sheer, unadulterated joy of a city that has waited 11 years to see them return as kings. When the first firework explodes over the stadium, lighting up the bay, the roar will be a mix of tech millionaires and student fans, all united by a single beat. Is San Francisco the most intellectual stop on the tour, or is the sheer raw energy of the performance about to shatter the city's cool, fog-covered exterior? The stakes are high, the art is ready, and the bridge is built. Are you prepared for the transition to the City of Angels, or has the Golden Gate to Magic already captured your heart? Number 3. Las Vegas. The City of Purple, a desert oasis reborn in magic. Welcome to the neon-drenched heart of the Mojave Desert, where the stakes are high, the lights are blinding, and the legend of Bora Haggis is about to be reborn in 2026. This isn't just another stop on a map. This is a city that BTS didn't just visit, they conquered, reshaped, and painted in their own image. If you were there in April 2022, you know that what happened in Vegas didn't stay in Vegas. It radiated across the entire globe. Las Vegas, Nevada is a place of grand illusions and shimmering mirages, but the love between BTS and ARMY here is the most real thing you will ever feel. Imagine the heat of the Nevada sun during the day. A dry, intense warmth that makes the horizon shimmer. But as the sun dips below the spring mountains, the entire strip undergoes a transformation that defies logic. The rumors for the 2026 tour suggest that Las Vegas won't just be a concert stop. It will be a city takeover, on a scale that makes the previous one look like a rehearsal. Picture the "Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas" sign, but instead of its classic yellow and red, it's glowing in a deep electric violet. Every major resort, from the Luxor Pyramid to the Eiffel Tower at Paris, Las Vegas, pulsing with purple light in a synchronized heartbeat. The proposed venue? The Titan itself, Allegiant Stadium. This Death Star of a stadium, with its sleek black exterior, becomes a literal beacon of hope. Can you feel the vibration of the desert floor as 65,000 fans inside that massive indoor arena scream, "Borahai!" with a force that can be felt all the way to Henderson? The detail in a Vegas stop is where the edutainment truly shines. This is the only city on the tour where the experience starts the moment you land at Harry Reid International Airport. In 2022, even the air traffic control tower was lit purple. For 2026, the whispers suggest an even more immersive urban concert play park. We're talking about BTS-themed rooms in 11 different MGM resorts where the keycards, the pillows, and the very air you breathe are part of the Bangtan universe. Imagine waking up in the Bellagio, looking out your window, and seeing the world-famous fountains dancing not to Pavarotti, but to the soaring high notes of Butter or the rhythmic intensity of Black Swan. The water jets shooting hundreds of feet into the air, perfectly choreographed to the beats of 7 legends. It's a sight that brings grown men and women to tears. The reflection here is deep. It's about a group that was once told they didn't belong in the Western mainstream, now having the world's entertainment capital literally bow at their feet. The logistics of Las Vegas are a high-stakes gamble that always pays off. The cafe in the city returns, where Michelin star chefs prepare the members' favorite Korean dishes, from spicy galbi to the perfect japchae, allowing fans to eat like BTS, while surrounded by fellow armies from every continent. The detail is in the behind-the-stage exhibition at Area 15, where the sheer grit, sweat, and raw emotion of the tour preparation are laid bare for all to see. You don't just watch the show in Vegas, you live the life. The mystery of the 2026 Vegas stop lies in the rumors of a special residency feel. Could there be a surprise appearance at a legendary nightclub for an after-party, where the members themselves curate the party one has stop lies? Playlist? The emotional stakes are higher than the stratosphere. For many fans, Las Vegas represents the pinnacle of the permission to dance era, the moment where the group proved they could turn an entire city into a sanctuary of self-love and joy. As the members take the stage under the massive LED screens of Allegiant Stadium, the atmosphere is a cocktail of adrenaline, nostalgia, and pure, unadulterated magic. The air inside is cool, but the energy is white-hot. When V first coined the term Borahai, it wasn't just a pun, it was a promise. A promise that no matter how barren the desert or how lonely the journey, there is a place where we all belong. The reflection is in the eyes of the fans from rural America, from South Korea, from Europe, and from South America, all standing together on the desert floor, their light sticks creating a galaxy that rivals the stars above the Mojave. This is the power of Las Vegas. It's a city of dreams, and for 1 week in 2026, those dreams will all have the same 7 names. Will the City of Purple break its own record for the most attended event in Nevada history? Will we see a performance so legendary that it becomes the new standard for live entertainment worldwide? The desert is waiting, the lights are dimmed, and the Borahai revolution is just a heartbeat away. Are you ready to double down on the magic? Or is the next city on our list about to show you a side of the BTS journey you never expected? Number 2, Los Angeles. The City of Angels' purple rebirth, where a legend returns to its home away from home. Welcome to the sun-drenched, palm-fringed, sprawling heart of the global entertainment industry, the one and only Los Angeles, California. This isn't just a stop on a tour. For BTS, Los Angeles is the city where the impossible became reality, a sprawling metropolis that has acted as their home away from home since the very beginning of their American dream. Can you feel the electric, high-stakes energy vibrating through the air of Santa Monica and the Hollywood Hills? Los Angeles is where the Purple Revolution truly found its footing in the West, and as we look toward the 2026 World Tour, the return to the City of Angels is being hailed as the ultimate emotional homecoming. Imagine the scene at the Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, in late May 2026. The Tom Bradley International Terminal isn't just a transport hub, it's a flashpoint of history. Thousands of fans, representing every corner of the global mosaic, have gathered in a disciplined, vibrating sea of purple, holding banners that read, "Welcome home, 7." The air is thick with the scent of jet fuel, sea salt, and the pure, unadulterated adrenaline of a dream about to be realized. Why does LA hold such a sacred place in the bangtan lore? To understand the weight of this stop, you have to look back at the scars and the triumphs. Do you remember 2014? A group of 7 young boys, barely known outside of South Korea, filming American Hustle Life on the gritty streets of West Hollywood, handing out flyers to strangers just to get people to attend a free show at the Troubadour. The reflection here is staggering. From the humble, sweat-soaked stage of a 500-capacity club to the rumored multi-night residency at the architectural marvel that is SoFi Stadium, this is the definition of a full-circle moment. SoFi Stadium, with its translucent roof and its massive 70,000-seat capacity, is more than just a venue. It's the site of the legendary 2021 Permission to Dance on Stage residency, the first time the boys reunited with ARMY after the long, dark winter of the pandemic. Those 4 nights in 2021 changed the city forever, generating nearly $100 million in local economic impact. But 2026? This is on a whole different level. The stakes are nuclear. During BTS Week in LA, the city doesn't just host a concert, it breathes with the group. Picture the Santa Monica Pier Ferris wheel, glowing in a deep, radiant violet against the Pacific sunset, its reflection dancing on the waves where Jimin once walked and filmed his travel logs. Imagine the Griffith Observatory, where the stars above the City of Dreams seem to align just for the 7, lit up in a shimmering amethyst hue that can be seen from the San Fernando Valley to Long Beach. The detail is in the streets. The Namjuning tours through the LACMA, Los Angeles County Museum of Art, where fans stand in front of the urban light installation, recreating the leader's iconic photos with a reverent silence. The atmosphere is a cocktail of Hollywood glamour and raw grassroots passion. In Koreatown, the heart of the city's soul, every BBQ restaurant and cafe is a sanctuary of Borahai culture. Can you smell the sizzle of galbi and the sweet scent of bingsu as fans from London, Rio, and Tokyo sit together, sharing stories of how these 7 men saved their lives? The logistics of an LA stop are a masterpiece of chaos. The 405 freeway, usually a symbol of frustration, becomes a purple highway, with cars adorned with OAT 7 decals and purple ribbons streaming toward Inglewood. The mystery of the 2026 LA stop lies in the Hollywood factor. This is the city of the Grammys, the Oscars, and the Walk of Fame. Will we see a surprise guest appearance from a Western collaborator? Will the Live Play at YouTube Theater return, turning the entire Hollywood Park complex into a 100,000-person celebration of music and identity? The emotional stakes are through the roof because LA is where BTS proved that language is not a barrier to the American dream. As the sun sets over the stadium, painting the sky in a palette of burnt orange and soft lilac, a spring day sky in the middle of a California summer, the tension becomes almost unbearable. When the lights finally go down and the 360-degree infinity screen at SoFi pulses with the first heartbeat of the intro, the roar of the LA crowd won't just be a sound, it will be a declaration. It's the sound of a city that saw them at their lowest and helped them reach their highest. The reflection is in the eyes of the members as they look out at a stadium they have sold out more times than almost any artist in history. They aren't just performers here, they are the architects of a new cultural era. The detail in the fan projects is expected to be record-breaking. Imagine 70,000 light sticks synchronized to create the image of a whale swimming through the stands, or the entire stadium turning into a giant, glowing 7 that can be seen from the planes landing at LAX. This is the magic of Los Angeles. It's a city that builds legends. And in 2026, it will cement the legacy of the most important group of our generation. As we move closer to the end of our list, the air is getting thinner and the excitement is reaching a boiling point. Is Los Angeles the ultimate destination, or is there one more city, one more iconic location that holds the crown for the most anticipated stop of all? The journey through the Americas has been a whirlwind of emotion, but the final chapter is about to be written in a place where the lights never dim. Are you ready for the grand finale? Or is the City of Angels already where you found your heaven? Number 1. New York City. The Empire State of Purple, a global symphony in the capital of the world. Welcome to the concrete jungle where dreams are made of, the city that never sleeps, and the ultimate crown jewel of the 2026 World Tour, New York City. This isn't just the final stop on our countdown. It is the spiritual and cultural epicenter of the entire BTS phenomenon in the Western world. If Los Angeles is their home away from home, then New York City is the stage where they were truly coronated as the princes of pop and the leaders of a new generation. Can you feel the sheer, crushing weight of history as you stand in the middle of Times Square, surrounded by towering digital screens that, for 1 week in 2026, will feature nothing but the faces of the 7? New York City is a place of grand ambitions and legendary triumphs, and the story of BTS here is one for the history books. Do you remember the 6th of October 2018? The night at Citi Field? That was the moment everything changed. It was the first ever stadium concert by a Korean artist in the United States, and the 40,000 fans who filled that baseball stadium didn't just attend a show, they witnessed the birth of a new era. The reflection here is deep and emotional. It's about the group that once stood in the rain in Times Square for Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, performing for a crowd that was just beginning to learn their names, now returning as the undisputed kings of the global music scene. The rumored venue for 2026 is the massive MetLife Stadium, just across the river in East Rutherford. But let's be real, when BTS is in town, the entire 5 boroughs become a purple zone. Imagine the Empire State Building, the most iconic skyscraper on the planet, piercing the night sky with a beam of royal violet light so bright it can be seen from the shores of New Jersey to the plains of Long Island. This has happened before, in 2019 and again for Jin's solo return in 2025, but for the full group's reunion tour in 2026, the rumors suggest a lighting ceremony so grand it will involve every major landmark in the city, from the One World Trade Center to the Chrysler Building. The detail is in the atmosphere. The subway cars of the 7 train, or the N train, crowded with fans trading photo cards and friendship bracelets. The sound of Spring Day echoing through the tunnels of Grand Central Station, and the sheer, overwhelming sense of community that turns the world's most cynical city into a sanctuary of love. The reflection is profound. New York is the city of the United Nations, the place where RM delivered that legendary Speak Yourself speech in 2018, and where the group returned as special presidential envoys in 2021 to film Permission to Dance inside the General Assembly Hall. To see them return to this city in 2026 is to see the culmination of a journey that transcends music. It is a journey of diplomacy, identity, and the power of the human spirit. The logistics of a New York stop are a high-stakes masterpiece of planning. We're talking about BTS Village takeovers in Hudson Yards, pop-up stores in Soho that have lines stretching for 10 blocks, and a security detail that rivals a presidential visit. The mystery of the 2026 stop lies in the rumors of a massive, free thank you performance in Central Park, reminiscent of their 2019 Good Morning America summer concert, but on a scale never before seen. Can you visualize 100,000 people on the Great Lawn, a sea of purple light sticks under the Manhattan skyline, singing Mikrokosmos as the stars come out? The emotional stakes are at their absolute peak here. For many, New York represents the final hurdle, the place where the Western Wall was finally broken down. When Jungkook's voice rings out across the Hudson River, and Suga's rap vibrates through the concrete foundations of the city, you realize that the world has truly changed. The detail is in the fans who have traveled from every continent, sleeping on the streets outside the Today Show or SNL studios, just for a 5-second glimpse of a smile. The air in New York during tour week is electric, charged with the scent of roasted nuts, street food, and the metallic tang of the subway, all mixed with the sweet, floral notes of a fandom that is celebrating a literal miracle. There is a sense of on-the-spot intensity that only NYC can provide, the fast-paced, heart-pounding realization that you are at the center of the universe. As the members take the stage for the final night of the North American leg, the tension in the stadium is like a coiled spring. Will there be a special guest? A surprise album announcement? Or simply a moment of silence where 7 men and 80,000 fans just breathe together, acknowledging how far they've come from that small practice room in Seoul? The reflection is in the eyes of Namjoon as he looks at the skyline and realizes that the city of dreams has finally dreamed of them. This is the #1 spot because New York City doesn't just host BTS, it immortalizes them. It is the capital of the world, and in 2026, it will be the capital of the army. The journey through 13 cities has led us here, to this moment of pure, violet-tinted perfection. The countdown is over, the map is complete, and the legends are ready to take their throne. Are you ready to be a part of history, or has the sheer power of this list already left you breathless? The world is purple. The time is now, and the story is just beginning.